Hi everybody, another video from the Careers Queen. Just because yesterday it was a case of, another day, another results day. So this time obviously it was GCSEs that came out. Congratulations to those of you who went and picked up your results. I hope they were everything that you wanted them to be. I just thought I'd do a really quick video about a couple of your options now. Hopefully your results were what you wanted them to be, but if they weren't, obviously make sure you talk to your teachers, so talk to your head of year, talk to your teachers, talk to other advisors like careers advisors in your school about your options. Obviously, particularly the important ones are your maths and your English. I know they're not always everyone's favourite subjects, but unfortunately they are the two that are really, really vital for your future options. Whether you're going to do further study, whether you're going to work, whatever you're going to do, you need to have a C grade in old money, and obviously this is the first year that we've now moved on to the new system, so hopefully you've all kind of got your heads around the numbers and what they mean. You need to make sure that you've got a number 4 at least in those subjects. So have a chat with your teachers and things about options. If you haven't, you will need to keep studying those until you get those grades. I know it's frustrating for some of you. I know it just sort of feels like a mental block when it comes to those subjects, but you've got to just keep trying and just get those all important grades. Aside from that, in terms of other subjects, again, if you haven't quite achieved the grade that you wanted to, and perhaps you wanted to, get a particular grade in a subject so that you could then go on and study that at A level. If you haven't quite managed to achieve that, make sure you have a chat with teachers and talk to them about the options. It may be that there's something similar that you could study instead. It may be that you can, even though you haven't quite got the grade, carry on, but you maybe need to do some extra study or something like that on top of it. Just have a chat with them and sort of see what your options are. And that kind of is the theme for this whole video, really, is about doing your research. And hopefully you did, before your GCSEs, have a think about what you were going to do after them. But whether you did or you didn't, whether the results that you've got, whether they were good or bad, whether, that might have changed your opinion of what you want to do. So I just thought I'd quickly run through some of your main options. Obviously, with the government raising the participation age, that does mean that you need to be doing something either in education, so either in full-time education, or doing something like an apprenticeship or an internship and volunteering and things like that. You need to be doing something, I guess, productive with your time for the next couple of years at least, and then you've kind of got more options of what you can do beyond that after that. So options, obviously one is A-levels. If you have got the right amount of GCSEs and grades and things like that, you can carry on and do A-levels. Think carefully about what A-levels you might want to do. It might be, again, like I say, because of your results, you might change what you want to do. Have a chat with your school. There are obviously other places that you can do A-levels as well. Maybe think about going to college. Perhaps if you haven't quite got the grades that you needed for school, college might accept you, or they might accept you onto a kind of more of a foundation course to then be able to carry on and do A-levels. All the colleges, even though it's some holidays, all the colleges will be open now with lots of people to give help and advice and things like that. So have a chat with them about lots of different options. Obviously with both of those environments, you can also do other study. So you could think about maybe doing a BTEC. I think there's this sort of misconception that BTECs are sort of not as good as A-levels, and in actual fact, universities, if that's where you're thinking about ending up, have a look at universities and different courses. The vast majority of them will accept BTECs as an equivalent to A-levels. They don't have a problem with it at all, and it might just be, particularly if exams aren't your thing, then BTECs, although they are now sort of starting to bring in the odd exam here and there for BTECs, there is still a hell of a lot less in terms of exam work, and it's more about coursework and things like that. So sort of have a look at that. It's just a different format. It's not that one is better than the other. It's just a different sort of format. So if it's a kind of learning that suits you better, that might be an option. So sort of talk to people about those. And obviously the other alternative, you might just think, I am so sick of being in school or of any kind of education, even college. I'm not interested. I don't want to do sort of further study in that sense. Apprenticeships obviously have been around for a long time. They are developing, they are growing, the government is pushing them more and more. So there is so many different options with regards to apprenticeships. Now again, colleges might be able to help you and give you some advice, because often, so what I should start by explaining is an apprenticeship is basically where you are working, so you are learning on the job. You are earning a salary. It probably won't be a great salary, I'm not going to lie, but hey, it's better than nothing. And part of the reason for that is because you are also training. So as well as doing your sort of on-the-job training, you are also doing some other study. What that study looks like will vary depending on how you do it and what you do. But there's lots of different apprenticeships. There's sort of everything from Yes, there are the traditional things like, I don't know, plumbing, and lots of sort of apprenticeships in construction and things like that. Yes, there's lots of those, but there's loads of other things as well. You can do business admin, there's all sorts of legal apprenticeships now as well that you can do. It's not just a case of having to go off to university to become a solicitor. There's sort of legal advisors and things that you can get into that route through doing an apprenticeship. There's all sorts of other things. There's project management. You could do an apprenticeship in fishmongery if you wanted to. But lots of sort of business related and sort of marketing things as well, and project management, loads of different things. So it's well worth having a look. And as I say, they're all kind of based around working, learning on the job, and also sort of a more formal study element as well. So the more formal study element will be handled by either your local college or what they call a private training provider. So if you're looking for apprenticeships, there's a number of ways of doing it. One is go and have a chat with colleges, and I would recommend you do that anyway, just to kind of get some face-to-face feedback and advice and help and support from them. There's also a lot of other private training providers, if I can get my words out. So, for example, QA apprenticeships are a really good apprenticeship provider, particularly around the sort of IT area, which is something that I didn't mention, all sorts of IT apprenticeships that you can do. So worth having a look at them. And I can't list them all, there are just so many different ones. Have a look online, you can have a look through the government site, you can look at the different apprenticeship providers around. So that's a way of sort of a route of finding out about apprenticeships. The other way is to find the companies who are offering them. And sometimes that is just a case of getting online and searching, thinking about different companies that you might like to work for, and have a look, do a little Google of them, see if they are offering apprenticeships. There are huge companies offering massive apprenticeship schemes. There's other websites that you can have a look at, things like Not Going to Uni, actually, although I know that's sort of the next stage on, but that will give you a good indication of where sort of some of these apprenticeships might be, or sort of people who are offering them. There are, as I say, there's the Apprenticeship Government website as well, that's a really good one. There's websites like I Could, that will give you some advice about apprenticeships as well. Loads of different stuff online, and I need to put some of these websites on my Facebook page, actually, which I will do shortly for you. So look for the Careers Queen on Facebook. So there's there's two really strong options there for you to have a look at. Some companies will run their own programs as well, so they're kind of like apprenticeships, but their own sort of individual designed one, or internships or things like that, or other kind of work experience and things like that you could do, because you are allowed to do sort of volunteering as part of your 2 years as well. Lots of different ways to build up your skills and your experience, and get further qualifications. So very quick summary, I will do more on all these different things in due course, but I just thought I'd give you a couple of options to sort of think about now that you've picked up your results. And I think that's about it for today. So thank you, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye.